guys, this will be the part 2 from the previous video that I did. First one was grinding a pick, a Bogota, sorry. This will be obviously part 2 of filing. Now I can only apologise enough of how long it's taken me to get round to recording this, but I just don't have any spare time at all at the moment. I mean, none. And luckily today the missus has gone out and the kids are all in bed, so I managed to get a little bit of time to get this done. But this is the exact same Bogota that I ground out in the first video. I've not touched it. It's been in my pick case ever since I made that video. Just, I don't know if you can see that, it's still rough, got all the ground edges on it. It's not been filed or polished or anything like that, so I'm going to try and file this down now in one hit so that no one thinks that I'm nipping off and doing a bit on the grinder and using loads of different files and all that sort of thing. But I'm going to try and get it done now. So all you need: a half round file, flat one edge, round on the other. It's the only one that you need. I suggest you do that to it, which is grind off the end of it, because you'll find out if you're doing this a lot, you'll end up doing that, which I've done several times on this finger, on this part here. And if you do that, nothing happens. You leave it on, you get lots of blood over your pick. That, and this is 800 grit paper, just so that when you've been filing an edge for quite a while, you can give it a bit of a skim and you can see what it's going to look like, if it needs any more tidying up or whatever. So I'm going to start filing this down and I'll show you bit by bit. But so when I'm filing, I'm probably just going to speed up the video just so that it doesn't take absolutely ages, because it can take a little time. So I'll crack on and we'll see how it goes. So the first part, I might as well do it. First part I'm going to do is the very first underneath peak. This little part here underneath there, to get that bit shaped. This can be a really uninteresting video for anyone that manages to stumble over it. It's going to be just me doing this for quite a while, but you can see how it starts to... Bloody lighting in here, it's rubbish. Come on. Focus, yeah, starting to form a, I don't know what you call it, a valley underneath, a groove underneath. Look, there's method in my madness, honestly. There you go. That's using the flat. Now I'm going to use the curved part of the file to get on the inside so that it forms a nice, not so much a point, but it goes from the thickest part, which is the top of the peak, and then slightly tapers downwards. At the same time being careful not to form a sharp point at the bottom, and to get a nice peak underneath, and to make sure that you don't go too high or you end up with a very weak point. Any pressure goes on it, it's just going to be the the first bit to buckle. I'll tell you what, is that going to be easier? You see better with that? There you go. That was what I was aiming for. Right. Second one will be the valley underneath here. First thing I do is find the centre point by looking at the peak above and go exactly underneath that, and then work upwards so that you don't get a lopsided wave. Oh yeah, I've got quite rough skin all down here, so obviously from all the filing and stuff that I do, so I do end up rubbing there, so beware. Using this side of the pick on your finger, you are going to start to cut in, but I'm a bit hard. First few times I did it, I did notice that I'd taken off quite a lot of skin. There's my second one done. So I'm not doing it obviously the grade that I'd normally do. I'm just trying to get this done as quick as I can and keep it looking good. So I'll do the third underneath part, then I'll concentrate on the top and then the shaft. So obviously I've already done the spacing with the grinder, so I know that these are all pretty equal, so I don't need to concentrate too much on them. Just the curves on the inside, make sure they're nice and equal and rounded off nicely. That's all. Just a bit of fine tuning when it comes to those. End of the day, it's not really all that crucial as long as you make them nice and even. It's looking better. Sorry about that. Had a little boy that's got toothache, so he needed some cow pole. So anyway, always get an interruption. This is it. Now it looks like I've cheating. Anyway, that's with the bottom peaks sorted. I'm just going to have a quick muck about with the top and then give it a bit of a skim. You'll see how a finished product should look like roughly. Just making sure that the top peaks are nice and even. It doesn't go from thick to thin or any wobbly edges. It's real good. Tidy up. Slightly rounding off all the edges. good. Right, now to thin down this little part. It is obviously been thinned down a bit, but I just have to make sure that it flows from the last point, goes into a nice curve, and then away, obviously getting gradually thicker towards the handle. Make sure that everything goes into a nice flowing curve. You got to think you got any rough straight ups and downs, that's when you're going to put it in, and a pin's going to go behind that, and then you're going to be screwed. You get a nice flow, the pin goes down as you pull, and it all works together nicely. And it looks prettier. Right, that's all been looking pretty good. So let's give it a quick once over with this. Another point. I know people will tell you don't do this, and I'll tell you also, because I do it like this. And if you pull out too quickly and you jam yourself in there, you end up with fingers like mine that have got black spots on them where you've shoved a Bogota that's covered in sanding metal dust and jammed it straight into your finger. I've done that several times. So you at home, you don't do that. Put it in a book, something flat, so if you make a mistake you're going to hit the book. But I'm a professional, boys and girls, okay? You've been warned. Capiche has told you. If I stab myself on camera now, I'm going to look a right tit. All I'm doing is giving it a quick once over so you can see what it's going to look like once I've polished it up, which will be my next video. Hopefully not that much of a time difference as the first two. Just giving it a slight skim just so that you can then look at it and see if it needs any more fine tuning. Let's wipe it on something, try and make it look a bit pretty. Put it on my t-shirt. Right. And that's pretty much my finished product so far, anyway. It's not too bad. So when I get another 5 minutes, I'll get my polishing papers out on my polish, and we'll go to work on this, and then we'll get a handle on it, and it should be good to go. So that's my part 2 over and done with for now. So I'll see you guys soon.